We meet travelers all the time that are out here slow traveling the world. And we've wondered, hey, how did you go about this? Today, we're going to talk about 3 different types of visas. The digital nomad visa, the tourist visa, and the retirement visa. Because we're all out here doing something a little different with the same results in the end. So, let's get going. Welcome back to Your Time to Travel. I'm Karl.
And I'm Tina.
And we're going to talk about the different types of visas and how to decide which one is best for you. So, we've been out here doing this for about a year. And we are doing the digital nomad version of the visas, right?
Right.
We started off with the tourist visa, and now we switched to the digital nomad visa. So I guess one thing we ought to discuss is what are these different types of visas? Mm-hmm. So let's start off with the one we're doing, the digital nomad visa.
Or also known as the Destination Thailand Visa, DTV.
Which is right? What we're doing for this country, yes.
Yes, okay.
So digital nomad visa, this is more of a longer stay visa. It has different rules involved. It can be from 6 months to, depending on the country, it can be 6 months, or it can go up to 5 years, depending on the country's visa program for digital nomad visas. You're usually not allowed to work. And that's a difference between this visa and maybe a retirement visa. You're not allowed to work. Under most circumstances, you're not allowed to work. Tax implications depends on the country. If you stay too long, you may end up having to go through their income tax protocol. Mm-hmm. Depends on the country as well. Certain countries like Thailand may be beneficial if you stay more than 180 days. If you're from the U.S. like us,
yes,
it has benefits. Mm-hmm. So, and that's pretty much the digital nomad visa. You pretty much work remotely or you work for yourself. But basically, being a digital nomad, that means you don't work for a local company. Right. You work for a company in another country, and they're allowing you to be a remote worker. Or you work for yourself, and your company is based out of another country, and you apply, and they accept you to come work remotely in their country. So that's digital nomad visas. And then there's the good old retirement visa for our age group. So, and for those of us over 50, we have pensions, retirements, 401ks, whatever you're doing, and you meet the income requirements for the country in particular, right?
Right.
So some of these visas start at 1 year, and then a country like Panama is a lifetime retirement visa. Mm-hmm. So that's a good perk. And how do you qualify? You usually have to qualify by providing proof of income and proof of health insurance, and they have to make sure they stipulate that you cannot work. In most countries, you're not allowed to work. Right. And clean criminal history in a lot of these countries as well. They make you do a background check through your federal government to make sure you're, not a criminal on the run. So, and then the good old tourist visa.
Yes.
Which is just the normal, hey, I'm allowed to stay in this country 30 days, 60, 90 days. In Mexico, you can stay up to 180 days on a tourist visa if you're from the U.S. And that is just a quick little vacation trip, holiday trip. You do the tourist stuff, and then you go back home. So you like to talk about why we prefer our digital nomad visa?
Well, we kind of started out with the tourist visa, of course, as everybody probably does. Maybe that's being a generalized statement, but we started with the tourist visa and we had 60 days and we extended to 90 days. And I will say when you're in that doing the border runs, if you stay on a tourist visa, then you have to leave the country and then try to re-enter the country, to reset the clock for another 60 days. I will say that it's an added amount of stress because you never really know. You could have some problems at immigration. It's always that it's not 100%. So there's always that fear of not being let back into the country. So having to do border runs, to me, was stressful. So when we decided to do the digital nomad visa for a longer period of time, it definitely reduced that stress of thinking about, because border runs, even though 60 days, 90 days, it comes up quickly. You know, you think, oh, 3 months, that's a long time. But when you're out here traveling and time flies when you're having fun, before you know it, you're having to make arrangements, you know, to leave the country. And it was a little added stress. So I liked that we finally switched over to the digital nomad visa for longer term. It's like, okay, we're here for, you know, a longer period of time, and there's, you know, security in that.
Yeah, for us, being our age, most definitely being able to stay somewhere longer. Because, you know, the young people we've met, they do just tourist visas and they country hop.
Yes, yeah.
Because it doesn't cost them any money for most countries. I mean, there are some countries that make you apply for a visa before you show up, and it's a few dollars. You know, like Vietnam makes you pay a fee to travel to Vietnam. You have to apply and get approved in advance. Yeah. But a lot of countries, depending on your visa, your country of origin, it may be just a tourist visa free, basically, you know, where you just show up and you get 30, 60, 90 days in advance. Yeah. And so, I mean, automatically. So that is a big factor. Like I said, a lot of young people are over here just going tourist visa to tourist visa, or back and forth. Like they're going between Thailand and Bali.
Bali, yes.
Thailand, Malaysia.
I mean, which is great.
It works.
You know, if you want to do that, it's a great, like we picked Asia and Thailand specifically so we could stay here and then bounce around countries. It's a perfect way it's a perfect place to be able to see a lot of different countries. And if you're willing to pick up and move every, you know, 30, 60, 90 days to a new country, it's great.
Yeah, for instance, you can do Mexico for 180 days with a U.S. passport.
Yes. Yeah.
And then after those 180 days, if you wanted to go to Europe, you can go over to Albania for a whole calendar year. Yes. With a U.S. passport. Yep. So you can go from Mexico for 6 months. You can go to Albania for a year, and then you can go to the part of Europe that's called the Schengen zone, where you can stay for 90 days at a time in a 6-month period. So yeah, if you really don't want to be in one place for a long time, or you don't want to pay the application fees, or you don't meet the income requirements, right? If you just want to just do tourist visa, then you can go that way. Yeah. But for us, and there's another reason why we decided to do the digital nomad visas, because we're going around with a dog. Yes. Yeah. And so that gets a little too expensive.
In some countries, there's a quarantine period where you have to quarantine your dog for a long period of time. Some countries, you know, may not even accept. It's a lot of red tape to go through to be able to travel with the dog. So yeah, that's why we stay a little longer.
And certain airlines don't transport pets at all. Yeah. In certain airlines, it's complicated when you're traveling with a pet. Right. Especially a pet that doesn't fit in the cabin area. Yes. You know, you don't have
a larger animal.
If you have a larger animal, it gets complicated. So it makes you not want to do border runs or travel from country to country every 3 months or less. So kind of the reasons why we chose the digital nomad visa. And it has worked out for us pretty good. So let's talk about the best countries for the digital nomad visas. According to several publications, and number one globally, it starts off with Spain. They're ranked number one according to certain publications as a number one digital nomad visa, and they have an income requirement of about $3,000 a month if you want to be a digital nomad. Okay. So you have to, and that's per person. Now, if you're a couple, it may be more than that, but just as an individual, and most of these figures are based as an individual, one person. So if you want to go hang out in Spain as a digital nomad, income requirement is around $3,000 USD a month. And that may fluctuate. And always remember that these numbers always change. These visa programs change often. So you have to go to that government's website to make sure information is current. Right. And most of our information here is current as of today. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. And then a very popular place for retirement, but it's also popular for digital nomads, is Portugal. And you can stay there for a year on a digital nomad visa, and income requirement as a digital nomad visa is actually more than as a retiree. Digital nomad visa has an income requirement of around $3,500 to $3,800 USD per month. So, and that's for a month. That's for a year. And then we have Thailand, which is actually the digital nomad visa we're doing, called the Destination Thailand visa, which is fairly new. It's only been around for a little over a year. And the income requirement for that visa is anywhere from 40 to 80, depending on which one you want to do. We're doing the DTV, Destination Thailand visa. Then they have another one called the Wealthy Pensioner visa, which has an even higher income requirement, but it also has a lot of perks with it. The digital nomad visa we're doing over here in Thailand is good for up to 5 years.
Right.
And you have multiple entry. You can come and go as you please. And, it's been great for us. We've been doing it for over a year, and it's been great. Multiple entry. But like you said, immigration is always stressful just because. I mean, it just is. That's just part of the protocol. It just is. Yeah. And one that we've talked about recently is the UAE, United Arab Emirates.
Right.
Now, it's a pretty hefty minimum monthly income, 5,000 USD.
Right.
So if you're a remote worker or you just have that kind of income coming in per month, UAE might be a great spot for you. And it's a 1-year visa.
Okay.
And each one of these countries has something special they offer. Like Thailand is the culture. UAE, everything's modern, skyline, and everything, like the glamour, everything that comes along with it. Spain, you're in the Mediterranean.
Right.
Each country offers something totally different, very unique. And then there's Bali. Bali has an income requirement. Well, actually, they say Bali is planning on implementing their program, and they may have a minimum income of around 60,000 USD a year. So we'll see what happens with that. But each one of these countries offers something different with their culture, landscaping, weather, food.
Yes, yeah.
Everybody offers something different. And we started off with Thailand for the culture and as a home base to see most of Asia. So, yeah. All right. So if you had to guess, well, it's not really going to be a guess for you because we've read a lot of stuff when it comes to retirement visas, because this is where we planned on starting. So what came on top for the best retirement visas is Portugal.
Yeah.
So, and I think we've told a story before about how we almost started in Portugal and.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was at the top of the list, was Portugal. And then for some reason we just changed our mind.
Weather.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, each country has a little bit of red tape. So, yeah. So Portugal has a D7 retirement program. Income is reasonable. Income requirement is reasonable. It is $1,200 to $1,500 USD per month. Very reasonable.
Yeah.
Now we've been reading and seeing in videos that it's taking a little while to get these visas approved. They're a little backed up. So, and that's an issue. You want to get this visa before you get there. And so depending on where you are in the world, that could cause a problem for you.
Yeah.
If you're sitting waiting for this visa,
yeah,
that could cause a problem for you because some countries are very quick to respond to these visa applications and some countries may not be.
Right.
And apparently Portugal may be a little backed up. It's taking several months for people to get approved. Thailand, where we are now, so they have a retirement O visa. You have to be 50 years old, clean background, health insurance. And that income requirement is $2,000 a month USD or have 25,000 USD dollars in a savings account. And I believe you have to have that money in one of their bank accounts.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, or you meet that. Yeah, or you meet that $2,000 a month income requirement for that visa. Clean background, health insurance, and so pretty sure that would be the visa we'd apply for if we knew this was going to be our final destination.
Yes.
And we've met quite a few people that are over here doing that visa that are retired.
Yeah. And they're on that visa.
Yeah, so that's something to think about there. And one of the other places where we were going to go first is Panama.
Yes.
Panama, their visa might be considered the world's best pensionado visa. Income requirement is $1,000 a month, clean background, health insurance, and that visa is good for a lifetime unless something's changed.
Right, right. And it came with a lot of perks too. Yes.
Yeah,
A
it
lot
comes
of
with discounts.
and-
Yeah.
On
Yep.
airfare and yes, just a lot of stuff within the community.
Yep. So, and the visa is good for a lifetime. It's still an option. We have not been to Panama yet, but it's still an option, and think we have to check it out. But if you're looking for a quick way to get out and have your home base at somewhere else and get a more affordable cost of living and way of living, one thing about Panama that's unique from the rest of the countries is that the U.S. dollar is their currency.
Right.
So there is no currency conversion. The U.S. dollar is the currency in Panama.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Because that is like something that I don't think that we knew could be as impactful as it is. The currency exchange and how it fluctuates and how it can really impact your spending. So that is something to consider, and that is a big plus that the currency is the same.
Yeah, because since we've been in Thailand, our rent has gone up.
Yeah.
Just because of the currency conversion.
Right.
The Thai baht has gotten stronger, and it's made our U.S. dollar come down a little bit.
Right.
So our dollar doesn't go as far.
Right.
It's still going far, but it's not going as far.
As far. Yes.
Yeah. That's.
So when you're doing a budget and you plan like, okay, my rent or whatever will be this much, but the currency is fluctuating, and then it's actually rising the longer that you stay. So you have to. That's something that we had heard about and we thought we understood, but when you really experience it, you're like, oh, I get it now. Because you don't think that a few cents on a dollar would be that impactful, but it really is. It
really is.
Yeah.
Just saying, you know what we paid for rent 8 months ago? Well, it's gone up $75. You're like, wow.
Yeah.
Seriously? And then you look at it, you're like, wow, it really has gone up that much. Good for the Thai baht, not good for us with our U.S. dollar. It's like, oh my goodness, our rent's gone up. Makes a big difference. So Panama, that's one of the perks of Panama. The currency is the U.S. dollar if you're coming from the U.S.
Right.
And so you don't have to worry about conversion. So that's another perk. And Costa Rica is also a great retirement destination if you're really looking for that chill lifestyle. Income requirements around $2,500. And their visa's good for 2 years. And then you have to reapply.
Yeah.
And so just something to think about those. And those countries we listed, they all offer something different as far as climate, lifestyle, culture. They're all something different.
Right.
And you know, a little fun fact, you can have more than one visa. You can have more than one retirement visa. You can do visas in multiple countries at the same time. There's no rule, there's no law saying you can't. So just something to think about. You can have access to several countries at the same time.
Yeah.
So just something to think about. You know, for instance, we have a 5-year visa here in Thailand. That's not stopping us from going to get the pensionado visa in Panama.
Right.
And splitting time between the two countries. As long as we meet those requirements for each country.
Right.
There's nothing stopping us. Okay. Moving on. Long-term visas, long-term tourist access, I should say. What are the best places for tourist visas? And the countries that came up on the list for tourist visas is Thailand. You know, you can stay 60 days and do an extension up to 90. Here in Thailand, you just go by the immigration office, pay a few bucks, and you can stay in Thailand without any kind of extra visa, just based on the U.S. visa for 90 days. Okay, great perk. Another country, Mexico, 6 months.
Yeah.
It's a long time. Very long time. We wish we would have taken more time and stayed in Mexico and just city hopped every couple of months, just went to a different part of Mexico.
Yeah, I wish we would have too. I just think that's part of getting out here and traveling and learning. You learn so much, and if we could go back and redo that, we definitely would redo it, because we didn't understand how impactful or how expensive and daunting the task is to travel with Benny. So we would have taken advantage of the 6 months in Mexico, already having him there, you know, and really seen more of the country. So we would do a redo on that one.
Redo on Mexico. We would have stayed a lot longer. We might have stayed the full 180 days.
Yes, because we enjoyed it there. It was, we definitely enjoyed our time there. So
Yeah, it was very nice and chill
Yeah.
in Mexico. And we didn't see most of it because we were only there for a few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
We redo Mexico. Mexico, we're going to redo. Definitely. The Schengen zone of Europe, for tourists, I mean, you can hop on trains and just hop from country to country. You have 90 days in the Schengen countries in Europe, 90 days within a 180-day period. So within those, and that's not just consecutive days. Mm-hmm. Somehow they're monitoring it. So you're not getting passport stamps in each country. You're just scanning in, and they're able to monitor it. So you have 90 days and 180-day period in the Schengen countries in Europe. Mm-hmm. So that could be great if you're just kind of like on a 90-day tourist type run.
Yeah.
That could be great. But also in Europe, you have Albania. In Albania, with a U.S. passport, will let you stay up to a year on a tourist visa. So if you're really trying just to get away, you can go hang out in Albania with a U.S. passport for up to a year. Mm-hmm. That's pretty strong. I think that's the longest that we are aware of as far as just having a just based on your passport. Mm-hmm. I don't think anything is longer than that. Besides, Albania, Mexico. I don't know any places that are any longer than that.
Right, for just a tourist visa. Right. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to common mistakes travelers make that are out here doing this.
Okay.
All right, so let's start with overstaying, and we see this in the news a little bit when we read local news.
Yes.
Overstaying or abusing your visa, like multiple border runs. And what do we mean by border runs? Border runs are when your visa is about to expire, your tourist visa is about to expire, and you either catch a flight to a neighboring country, stay for a day or two or longer, and then you come back to reset the tourist visa. And that seems to be something that a lot of people do in certain countries until immigration says, nah. And all of a sudden you can't get back in the country.
Right, yes. Yeah.
So that's a visa run. Could be very dangerous. Mm-hmm. You could end up not getting back.
Yes, I think it's frowned upon.
Yeah.
That people do, people still, use that method.
Yeah, it's not looked upon favorably by immigration.
Way.
It's not. But it wasn't intended to be for that purpose. That's not what the intent is of their tourist visa. Yeah. Because some people are living in countries, and just every few days they're just hopping the border and they're coming back. Okay, so having a digital nomad visa, and they're out here working. So that is another thing that will get you in trouble.
Yes, yeah.
And I think we've seen on the news where people have gotten in trouble when they have some of the crackdowns. And like, let's just say Thailand is very strict on the types of jobs you can have if you're not a citizen. Mm-hmm. And it's usually highly skilled jobs, high education jobs, but it's not normally the blue collar type jobs. You can't be out here as a street vendor. You can't. Yeah, there's certain jobs you cannot be doing, and so it's kind of like a big red flag if somebody sees you out here with a running a street vending cart.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah, so people get in trouble with that. We see some of this stuff in the local paper online. We'll see that people are out here working on their visa. There are exceptions, and the exceptions have to be proved through their government. So just make sure if you decide to work out here on these type of visas, make sure that you have some official approval to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Ignoring tax implications.
Yeah, yikes.
If you stay in certain countries too long, their laws say that you're responsible as a resident. Mm-hmm. You're considered a resident, and you have to pay taxes.
Right.
Now, we have treaties with a lot of these countries, but some we may not.
Right.
So make sure you know where you're going, and make sure you know what the tax laws are and how long you can stay without being considered a resident.
Yes, yeah.
Very important.
Very important.
Couldn't imagine as much taxes as we pay already.
Right, having to pay more.
In another country.
In another country.
It's like, no.
Yeah, no, thank you.
I think I'm good on the tax thing. Yeah. Now, if you want to help me not pay as much, please do.
Yeah.
And that's something we're going to talk about eventually. We're going to talk about some of the benefits being in certain countries as an expat, as a long-term resident. There are some countries that is very beneficial for us. So, all right. Failing to have proper health insurance. You knew it was a requirement, and now you're not meeting the requirement, and now you're just rolling the dice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to do that in another country.
Yeah, probably not the best thing to do.
Yeah, you're all here just living your best life, as on your long-term visa, blah, blah, blah. And then next thing you know, they call you to the carpet when it's time to go to immigration, or some kind of check happens and you don't meet the requirements anymore. Now they're telling you, hey, we're going to fine you, or we're going to revoke your visa.
Yes, yeah.
I couldn't imagine having my visa revoked.
Yeah.
I don't want to pay anybody's fine either.
Yeah.
But just saying. And another thing we see, especially when we look on like social media, Facebook and things like that, do not get your advice and let that be your only source of information from social media, folks.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, this podcast should not be your source of information solely. This is a source of information, but you have to use your official sources like the embassy websites for certain countries, your country. You cannot go off of social media. I know it sounds ridiculous for us to say this, but you just have to go on Facebook to a lot of these groups in different countries, and you realize that people are getting their information from social media posts.
Right, from a Facebook group in the comment section.
Right.
And unless legal things like that, like visa stays and,
Your freedom.
asking. You should definitely consult, and investigate with the proper authorities, not the Facebook group, because you'll get 1,000 different answers to the one question, and it's like who you should just seek the professionals. That's definitely.
Yeah, when I read it, I just shake my head. It's like, why are you asking that on Facebook? Just as quick as you go on Facebook to ask this question, you could have went to the country's embassy and gotten the real answer. This is very, very interesting. Don't be that guy. You can ask someone on social media, verify all of your information through the official government sites. It'll save you a lot of trouble and probably a lot of money. Who wants to pay a fine for doing it wrong?
Yeah.
And overstaying your visa. Some people do this on purpose, which is very interesting. We're of the mindset that we're not going to anyone else's country to get in trouble when we didn't even want to get in trouble in our own country. So overstaying our visa is not an option. Right.
And you do have to check the dates too. Like not only overstaying, but some visas you have to do check-ins. Some visas you may have to leave every 90 days. You just really have to constantly check the requirements, and you might want to put it on your calendar and your phone as a reminder, like this date is coming up, because we kind of frequently ask each other, like we'll check our passport stamps just to make sure that, the time hasn't passed where we need to do a 90-day check-in or whatever like that. So you do have, it's not just like you get a visa and you never have to think about it for the next 5 years. You do have to kind of recheck the requirements and make sure you're still in compliance.
Yeah, I can't imagine. But yeah, we do talk about it because over here, the type of visa we have, it requires you either to leave the country every 90 days or you file a 90-day report letting immigration know, still here, you haven't left to go anywhere, and you're still residing where you told them you were living 90 days prior. And so sometimes it's just easier just to go to another country and go see some stuff, which is why we're over here.
Right.
But if not, if you haven't left the country within 90 days, go to the immigration office. Hopefully it's not too busy, and you do your 90-day report. You'll wait in line longer than you'll be with the immigration officer, and it's done. But we've seen people overstaying I think there was an article in the news where a guy overstayed his visa by 8 years or something like that.
Yes.
It's like, that's
wow.
That's crazy. All right, so how do we plan for our quote unquote visa runs, or how do we stay in compliance? Plan trips. Like we just said, we plan out our trips.
Right.
And if we're not going to go somewhere within 90 days, we just go to immigration and do our 90-day report.
Do the check-in.
Yeah, it's no big deal. it's more of a convenience because, the commute back and forth is really no big deal. I mean, if we're not leaving the country. But for the most part, we usually do go visit a neighboring country.
Right.
And we come back in, we get a new stamp, and we stay in compliance. Another thing is just make sure you have the appropriate visa. I mean, just make sure you have the appropriate visa so you're not rolling the dice.
Yes.
If you know you like living in a certain country or you like staying in that country and you can qualify financially for a
do the paperwork. And
do it. It's a pain in the butt, or hire an agency to do it for you. They know what they're doing. And that's what a lot of people have done here. They've hired a firm to do their visas for them. And when you hire the professionals to do it for you, it usually gets approved right away if you qualify. And they'll tell you if you qualify or else you won't even apply.
Right.
So that's an easy way of staying out of trouble. And we highly recommend it. Just like we said, tourist visa, if you're doing too many visa runs to the same country, every time you come back, you're really rolling the dice.
Yes.
Especially if you've left friends and personal property, pets. It's like, oh yeah, they always do it until they don't. And some countries require you, when you're on a tourist visa, say like Thailand, they require you to have a return flight out within the time of that visa.
Yes, they do.
Because one time we didn't, because we were planning on applying for our digital nomad visa.
Yes, yeah.
And so immigration stopped us at the airport, and we were looking really crazy because we knew better. And
we just totally forgot and didn't have a flight out or
didn't have a flight out.
And we were still on a tourist visa at the time, and we were applying for the digital nomad visa. And we went to another country, and we came back, and we're going through immigration to get back into Thailand and Bangkok. And I went first, remember? I went first, and I knew as soon as she looked at that and she looked at her supervisor, I was like, oh boy. And she was like, do you have a return flight? And I was like, no, ma'am. And then, it's scary. I mean, we worked it all out, but it is scary. So, definitely make sure you're meeting the requirements.
Because if we wouldn't have done that digital nomad visa within that time frame, pretty sure we would have gotten banned. I'm pretty sure of it.
Yeah, they wouldn't have let us back
in.
They
weren't going to let us back in.
Time we left. Yeah. And then that was an honest mistake. We just didn't think about the return flight when we went to visit. I think we went to Malaysia, and we just didn't even think about that. But it
was scary. It's like, oh my goodness, we're being that guy. All right. So what are our tips? Well, for this whole lifestyle, first tip is if you're like a 50 plus traveler, you're a retiree, you have a stable income, and you know what your income is, this is a great idea for you. And that's one of the keys to success, having a stable income, a revenue stream that you're not going to have to worry about, and you know what you're allowed to spend per month. You can go to these countries, you can really enjoy yourself on a tourist visa alone. Now, if you're looking to retire, and we're going to have a guide, so make sure you go to our website, yourtimetotravel.life, and you'll see there's a guide there for this whole lifestyle. And you'll see the steps you can take to do this lifestyle, and you can make a decision for yourself, consult with your your experts, and you can make a decision for yourself if this lifestyle is for you or if you're ready for this lifestyle. We're not backpackers, so let's remember that. We're not doing the backpacking thing. We're talking about the 50-plus-year-old travelers. The young people, they may do things a lot differently than us.
Yeah.
We're talking about our age group primarily, and people that have the luxury of being remote workers. And that's who we're really gearing this towards. Now, backpackers, they can get away with things being a lot less, and they're mostly going to do the tourist visa.
Yeah, they're mobile. They're
and they can stay at hostels and spend very little money. And they can move around. We're doing a couple of suitcases, a golf bag, and a dog, and they're doing one big backpack.
Yes, yeah.
So that's a little different. We also recommend you test out a country if you can before you make the move, selling all your stuff to do what we're doing. If you have the time test out certain countries. Go there for more than a normal holiday or vacation. Stay there for a little bit. Stay away from the tourist traps and just see if you like kind of being out of your comfort zone, learning a new culture, eating different food. Just see if you would like that, before you dive in. Unless you're just daring like us, because we just jumped in.
Yeah, we did.
So comment on that. Let us know what you think about how would you prepare for this? Would you jump in? Would you take it easy? And what kind of visa would you most likely start with? Do you feel like you're going to do the tourist visa thing and just hop around? Do you feel like you're going to want to just go do the retirement visa and just set up shop somewhere that's more affordable? Mm-hmm. Or do you think you're going to do the digital nomad visa like us, have your home base and slow travel it around? And I think eventually we're going to do the retirement visa eventually. So leave it in the comments. Let us know. You can download our free travel guide, and then we also have some other mini e-guides that you can take a look at that'll help you prepare for your journey. So thank you for watching or listening, and always remember that it's your time to travel.